Question 14. White shapes and black shapes are used in a game. It's not really necessary, it's a game, but it's about the shapes and everything. So some of the shapes are circles, all the other shapes are squares. And we are having some ratios here and need to work out what fraction of all the shapes are circles, of all the shapes. So it's a pretty complex question. And I was thinking for a little while how to show the best way, how to work it out. Maybe it's not the best way, but it's the way I liked the most. So I'm going to proceed with this. Let's make a note. A ratio of the numbers of white shapes to the number of black shapes. So white to black. I would love to use white color, but it wouldn't be visible. So W and B. 3 to 7. So white to B is 3 to 7. Let's put it here. On purpose making some space here. I'll explain in a second. The ratio of the number of white circles to the number of white squares. So white circles to white squares is 4 to 5. Again, making space here. So we'll be talking about it in a minute. 2, 5. And the third piece of information, ratio of the number of black circles to the number of black squares. So black circles, so make them black, to black squares. Black squares, okay, nice black, okay, 2 to 5. So 2 to 5. Now these ratios compare different things, so that different parts. So let's call this, let's say, 3a to 7a. It could be 3 to 7, it could be 6 to 14, whatever. But this could be different multiple of something, which we don't know. So let's call this b and b. Let's call this c and c. Because if this will be 2 to 5, doesn't necessarily mean this will be 4 to 5. It could be 40 to 50. So different multiples representing our ratios. And now, what we know, if all the whites are these, that means that's 9b altogether. So 9b represents 3a. So 3a equals 9b. And here the same way, this is altogether 7c. And it looks a little bit better. 7a represents 7c. So I'll put 7c here underneath, which is really equal to 7a. So we could put it in a ratio because still 3a to 7a is actually now same as 9b to 7c. So now from here we can see that if we divide by 3, 1a equals 3b. And here obviously c equals a. Now this is not in a ratio anymore because we divided in different by different number. But now we will see if c equals a and a equals 3b, we can really say that a equals 3b and that equals c. That is true just from putting everything all together. And now what I decided to do was to rewrite the ratio again here. Let's make space here. The basic ratio white to blacks, 3a to 7a, which a is 3b. I'll just decide to go through b's because we're talking about fraction of all shapes are circles and I need to somehow get to the bottom of everything. So 3 times 3b actually. Instead of a, I'll write 3b, 2, and again 7a, so 7 times 3b, just to express it in a little bit different way. So go through those b's. So we have 9b to 21b, which goes with this b's, and then we can be later working with this as well if we need to. So 9, 21. So that's altogether 30b, some sort of 30 part. And Now we want to find out all the fraction, all the shapes. So to all the shapes and circles. So we got all the shapes are expressed this way. So now we want the circles. So 4 parts are out of 30, because 4b to 30b. So 4b from here to 30b, and the C we can deal with the C through B, that's 3b. So we talk about circles. So we have 2c. So because that's literally from here, and this 2c equals 2 times 3b. 2 times 3b, which is 6b. So now we're dealing with 6b over all the shapes. That's why we're putting this in terms of b. All the shapes, 30b. Therefore we can get rid of all those b's now, really. So we have 10 over 30, which is 1/3. And 1/3 is the answer. So there's 1/3 of all the shapes is circles. Well, there are various ways how to get there. This was what crossed my mind first, and when I worked it out, it was making most sense for me. There are options actually how to deal with this, and it might look easier through sort of implementing probability trees and stuff, but I wouldn't want to be putting probability trees in here, so I just went more like thinking ratio ways. But yeah, this could be discussed later when I'll be dealing with a specific topic. So one of the ways, you might prefer other ones, but just one of the ways to show you how you can deal with this sort of question. It was maybe a little bit more difficult just to work it out, just to think about how to get there, but definitely not impossible. So 1/3 is our answer.